7:30 on KTLA.
Now at 4, Nick Reiner's first court appearance one day after he was charged with fatally stabbing his parents, filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner. Good afternoon. This is the KTLA 5 News at 4. I'm Samantha Cortese.
And I'm John Finolio. Nick Reiner has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, but his arraignment on those charges was postponed today.
The 32-year-old son could face life in prison or the death penalty if convicted of murder. KTLA's Kimberly Chang joins us live from the newsroom where she is tracking the case today. Hi, Kimberly.
Sam, John, hi. Their son, who stands accused of killing them, was in court today, but the arraignment, as you mentioned, was postponed, and he did not enter a plea. Meanwhile, the medical examiner's office determined that a cause of death was multiple sharp force injuries.
I would like to ask for a continuance.
A sketch shows Nick Reiner his first court appearance wearing shackles and a suicide prevention smock. A camera was allowed, but Judge Teresa McGonigal ordered that Reiner not be shown. The 32-year-old is accused of stabbing to death his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner, at their Brentwood home. The judge agreed to move his arraignment to January 7th at his attorney's request.
I want to get it clear, this juncture is too early.
The bodies of the 78-year-old Hollywood legend and his 70-year-old wife were reportedly found by their daughter. Hours later, video captured police taking Reiner into custody in the Exposition Park area. He was also seen before that at a convenience store, where the clerk said he purchased a Gatorade and appeared nervous. Investigators haven't revealed a possible motive for the killings, but the night before, Nick reportedly got into a loud argument with his father at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. Nick has battled with drug addiction for years. In a 2016 interview with People, he said he cycled in and out of rehab and homelessness since the age of 15. Reiner now faces charges which could carry the death penalty if convicted. His high-profile defense attorney, Alan Jackson, made a brief statement to reporters after court Wednesday.
Our hearts go out to the entire Reiner family. There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case. These need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined.
Rob Reiner directed films including When Harry Met Sally and The Princess Bride. Michelle Reiner was a photographer and movie producer. They were married nearly 40 years and had 3 children.
When you hear that he is on suicide watch, you know that there are mental health issues, and I think there will be a real question here whether his attorney, when they ultimately enter a plea, are they going to enter a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity?
The Reiners' other children, Jake and Romy, released a statement saying in part, "Words cannot even begin to describe the unimaginable pain we are experiencing every moment of the day. The horrific and devastating loss of our parents is something that no one should ever experience. They weren't just our parents, they were our best friends." And the Reiner family went on to ask that speculation be tempered with compassion and humanity. Nick Reiner is being held without bail. If convicted as charged, he could face the death penalty. Reporting live in the newsroom, Kimberly Chang, KTLA 5 News.
Kimberly, thank you. Breaking news now. Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino says he plans to resign from the Bureau next month. Bongino currently holds the second most powerful position in the FBI, and his departure comes less than a year into the job, ending with a tenure in which he clashed with his own Justice Department over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Bongino announced his planned departure in a post on X in which he said he was grateful for the, quote, opportunity to serve with purpose. He did not detail his future plans. The Washington Post reports that Bongino plans to return to being a conservative podcaster.
The FBI has released enhanced video of a person of interest in the deadly Brown University shooting. Authorities are hoping to talk to a man who's seen walking by the possible suspect to find out if he got a look at the suspect's face. The footage was recorded Saturday afternoon before the attack. A $50,000 reward is now being offered for information that could lead to the gunman's capture and conviction. Earlier today, the mayor of Providence addressed public concern that the suspect is still on the loose.
We have tightened security, and we have neighbors looking out for one another, and we will get through this. I know our city, and we are a resilient community, and we are a city that will support one another as we move forward in this scary time.
2 students were killed in the shooting. 9 other people were injured. 2 people have now been released from the hospital. Classes at Brown have been canceled for the rest of the semester. Sunday's men's basketball game between Brown and USC has also been canceled.
In Australia, the surviving suspect in the Bondi Beach mass shooting was charged today with 59 offenses, including terrorism and 15 counts of murder. Naveed Akram was in a coma following a shootout with police. He is now awake. The 24-year-old is accused of carrying out an ISIS-inspired attack on a Hanukkah celebration Sunday alongside his father, who was killed by officers. The charges come as the first funerals for the victims were held under tight security not far from the scene of the anti-Semitic massacre.
The civil case over whether the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim bear any responsibility in the death of former pitcher Tyler Skaggs is now with the jury. The jury's first day of deliberation has not yet yielded a verdict. Skaggs died after ingesting a fentanyl-laced oxycodone knockoff pill in 2019. 1 year later, prosecutors announced the pill was supplied by an Angels employee. That employee was found guilty and is now serving more than 20 years in prison. However, Skaggs' family asserts the Angels should have known their employee was involved in illegal narcotics, making them culpable. The Angels say Skaggs' pre-Angels history of illegal activity absolves the team of responsibility in this matter.
We turn now to a murder mystery that has haunted the nation for nearly 30 years. The death of 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey in her Colorado home in 1996.
KTLA5's Mary Beth McDade recently sat down for an emotional interview with JonBenet's father, John Ramsey. Mary Beth, you join us now live talking about this KTLA True Crime special that streams tonight on KTLA+. Hi, MB.
Hi there, Sam and John. Yes, my full hour-long special with John Ramsey is coming up tonight at 8 p.m. on KTLA+. Now he answers every question, dispels a lot of rumors, reveals who he thinks the murderer might be, and talks about the new technology he hopes will help find his daughter's killer. Now here's just a very small portion of what John shared with us.
JonBenet was my youngest daughter. She was 6 at the time of her death, and she was a daddy's girl.
JonBenet Ramsey was the apple of her father John's eye. In a new interview with KTLA+, he recalls that horrific day, December 26, 1996, when he found the child beauty queen's body in the basement of the family's Boulder, Colorado home about 7 hours after she was reported missing.
She looked asleep, peaceful. I did not see the rope that was embedded in her neck, used to strangle her.
An autopsy revealed the cause of her death was strangulation, along with head trauma. John says JonBenet had been sexually assaulted with a paintbrush handle, and DNA was found in his daughter's underwear and under her fingernails.
A number of items were sent off to be tested, crime scene items, and they recovered, I am told, this unidentified male DNA in her night clothing, underwear.
He tells us the Boulder Police Department made many mistakes from the start, including only focusing their investigation on John, his now deceased wife Patsy, and their son Burke, who was only 9 at the time. But in 2006, the new district attorney took advantage of new technology and ordered more DNA testing.
That gave her the confidence to declare that clearly it was an intruder, and she wrote a letter of apology to us and declared us as suspects.
The Boulder Police Department has changed staffing over the years and become a police force that John is hopeful may finally be able to solve his daughter's murder. The department has told him they're currently and actively working on the case. He hopes this includes retesting the mysterious male DNA found at the scene in the latest format necessary to do investigative genetic genealogy.
It was first used by a technology-focused police department of California that identified the Golden State Killer, 40-year-old cold case.
This would allow detectives to use public databases to potentially find the suspect's relatives and then possibly lead to the killer and justice for John Bonet. The Boulder police chief released this video statement assuring that this case remains a top priority.
This past year, our detectives have conducted several new interviews, as well as re-interviewed individuals based on tips that we've received. We've also collected new evidence and tested and retested other pieces of evidence to generate new leads.
And Boulder police won't reveal what new leads they've uncovered at this time. John is expected to meet with the department in the beginning of January to get an update on this case. Now you can see my full in-depth interview with John Ramsey tonight, streaming only on KTLADT Plus at 8 o'clock. And you can just download the KTLADT Plus app for free on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Samsung Smart TVs. That's going to do it for me. John, Sam, we'll send it back over to you.
MB, thank you. President Trump is scheduled to address the nation tonight from the White House. The administration has not shared many details about what he will say. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt only says the president will speak about his achievements this year and his plans for the rest of his term. According to a new poll of registered voters from NPR, CBS News, and Marist, only 36% of Americans approve of the president's handling of the economy. His overall job approval is at 38%. His address comes amid rising prices, rising layoffs, and a weakening labor market. And as millions of Americans are bracing for their health care premiums to skyrocket without an extension to Affordable Care Act subsidies. The president speaks at 6 p.m. Watch it here on KTLA. All right, we've got more coming up on the news at 4.
Olga Ospina has your forecast. Hi there.
We're looking at really nice tonight. We're looking at running clouds. Also tracking some big changes for next week. Rain on the horizon next.
I'm David Lazarus. Warner Brothers Discovery says thanks, but no